So I got a Corvette. It's over there. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about motors. So the video you're going to see here in a little bit is going to be me complaining about the guy that kind of spooked out on me on the LT4 motor. It's a bit of a drama and not really worth my time in explaining it in 2 videos. So go to that video. That's actually going to be posted here in just a little bit. But anyway, if you got any horror stories on Facebook Marketplace, leave them in the comment section below. I want to hear about them. And let's complain about them collectively. So what we got here is the junk LT1 that I got. It was a little before Christmas I got this. Ooh, that looks great. But anyway, I didn't spray this down with WD-40. Anyway, it needs to be bored over anyway, so it's not that big a deal. So what's going to happen with this block? I don't know. Honestly, if you're kind of close to me and you need a block, I might let it go for close to nothing. I paid close to nothing for the motor. So if you want to pay me close to nothing just to get it out of here, that'd be fine. But my intention is, let me go through the list of motors. Stock rebuild, 383, my 355. So this one here, if everything works out, is going to go into an RX-7, right? It's going to be great. Going to be awesome. The LT1 there, even though it's nice, even though it runs great, I'm going to pull everything apart, and I'm going to do a stock rebuild on it, just basically freshen it up. For when I do get another another Corvette, I can then look for cars with blown head gaskets, just they need a motor. That sort of situation. That way it drops my buy-in price for a Corvette. And besides, I'm going to have it out. I may as well change the head gaskets and put new rings and pistons in it. Well, not pistons, but rings for sure. Rings and bearings and freshen up everything just because, right? So 383. I'm probably going to do a kit build for the 383. I'm just going to send it to the machine shop, have them bore it 30 over, have them clearance the block, and put new cam bearings in it, new freeze plugs, have them, obviously check it for cracks, square up the block, and be done with it. So basically, if that's a good block, I'm going to end up with a really, really sturdy bottom end. Probably not going to do fuel injection on this one. I will, but I'm probably not going to do forget what that's called. It's escaping me at the moment. But anyway, I'm not going to do that setup. I'm going to do the other setup where it's manifold, traditional style. Probably run a distributor. I'm not sure, but anyway. So the 355. What's going on with it? So I'm going to be taking the block to the machine shop here in a little while. That's going to suck because see, here's where I'm at. I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Driving season really isn't going to be in 4 months anyway. That's going to be the wait time on that block. So I'm machining the block, but my pistons are on the way. I'm going with Molle Power Pack pistons. I'm looking at 11-to-1 compression, static compression. My dynamic should be around 9, somewhere in there. Anyway, so I'm going with a little bit hotter than a hot cam. Basically, if you go on Lloyd Elliott's page, it's the little bit hotter than the hot cam version. It's just a step above their emissions compliant camshaft. The bottom end, actually, my crankshaft is coming in today. I actually am using a forged steel GM crank, and that's going to be in here today. And you guys are going to see pictures of that here real soon. It's going to be great. I can't wait to get it. Anyway, it's already machined, already worked. I don't have to worry about anything, so the crankshaft work is already done. Rods, I think I'm going to go with H-beams, but realistically, at this point, I'm trying to determine my rod size versus pistons, and I'm leaning on the 5.7 rod just because the longevity of the motor, and the way the pistons are set up, and I really don't need the piston to dwell there. And I've seen performance tests where the 5.7. Gosh darn it. The 5.7 versus the 6-inch rod. I've seen comparisons between the two, and I haven't really seen much benefit other than some people saying that there's a benefit to it. And it is what it is. They make the different rods for a reason. Some people believe in it, right? So I'm probably going with the 5.7-inch rods. And I already have the power pack pistons picked out that I want for that. So I'm probably going to do that. Now, this is going to be something that I'm going to see. I'm on the fence about this. I don't know what I want to do. Them are brand new injectors. Well, brand new last year injectors. I've got 15,000 miles on them, ish, maybe. So I got about 15,000 miles on them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel them out and package them. I'm getting 42-pound injectors. And the reason why is because those are going to be running, I mean, they're 30-pound injectors, but I just want room to grow. So basically, those are going to be maxed out to where, let's say I do end up with high 400 horsepower, like 470, 480, somewhere in there. From what I'm looking at, the build that I'm doing, gonna be between 450 and it'll be pushing close to 500. So it'll be higher than 450, and it'll be in there. So it's crazy because you can't just verify what this is going to make compared to somebody else's motor, because nobody builds these things identical, which is crazy. You can get in the ballpark, which is awesome. But yeah, so my LE2 heads, my LE2 LT4 heads are going to be going on this. It's going to be great. Fantastic. Something I don't have picked out are my lifters. So if anybody has any recommendations for lifters, definitely let me know. I'm going to probably be going with Comp Cams. They've got some lifters on Summit that are pretty nice and seem to have pretty decent feedback on them. But yeah, 30 over, this is going to be great. This is going to be awesome. Oh, I was thinking, even though you can't really see it, I was thinking about like them old Chevy motors, like people painted them 10, 12 times. You got the paint peeling through. I was thinking about doing that with the intake manifold on one of these. I think that would look pretty cool. Like, how cool would this be? Like, let's say the intake manifold, right? Red, white, and blue intake manifold. Well, how are you going to do the red, white, and blue intake manifold? Well, you got the base red, and then you spray paint it blue, and then you take masking tape and then pick off the masking tape after you get the blue, or you do the blue and then you do the white over. You do the red, you got red, then you paint it blue, and then you do it white. But each layer you mask off parts, and then you peel it all off, and then at the end it's like the paint's flaked off. It'll have that look to it. I think that would look really neat. You come in here and it would look pretty cool. I think that'd look cool. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, it's like 20 degrees in my garage. Whew, it's chilly. Anyway, guys, that's about all I got here, I think. So 383, standard short block, standard upper end, LT1 rebuild. I've already got everything to rebuild it, so I may as well. And overhaul it, I should say. Probably don't need it, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll just hone it and put it all back together. This right here, yeah, this is going to be fun. I cannot wait. So, that leads me to another thing. After reading and everything, I am going to retain the dual mass flywheel. So, there's a problem with that. It's in the car right now. So, I need a dual mass flywheel for my build. I may as well use the one I got since it's in good shape. So, that's what I'm going to be doing. And, yeah. So what do you guys think? It's a forged bottom end on this thing. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. I was on the fence about, like, oh my gosh. So let's see here. What am I trying to think here? The Chinese parts that are out there, the forged cranks and everything, scat and, I mean, understandably, a lot of people are using them, and the cast cranks, a lot of people are using them to a lot of success as well. So after reading, it just kind of, I don't know. I just want all American stuff in this as much as possible. And yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, the Power Pack pistons, definitely want to use the Power Pack pistons. A lot of people around here run Circle Track. I understand it's not a Circle Track motor, but if the pistons are good for 2, 3, 4 seasons doing what they do in dirty environments, and then the pistons still look as good as some of them I've seen, definitely worth the look. But yeah. So this one definitely needs to be bored over, and I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So this is probably going to be a later in the year project. Definitely not going to be something that I'm going to be getting on right away. This one here, hopefully get this all sorted out and done. As soon as it starts warming up, the Corvette's going to get peeled apart. Well, I'm sorry. I should refrain from saying that. The motor and transmission's coming back out of this here very soon because I need that clutch. Or I don't need the clutch, I need the flywheel in order to balance it with my new rotating assembly, which is going to happen here really, really soon. And can't do that without my rotating assembly. So, mass dampeners. What? Okay. I've been looking at a lot of Camaro and Firebird forums. I know what they recommend. However, as far as Corvette stuff, people that have these cars just are tight-lipped about everything. They're either tight-lipped about it because they don't want to tell anybody, but I think it's more along the lines of they don't have any clue because they didn't put it in themselves. So I think that's what's going on. But anyway, what mass dampener do you think should be used? And as far as the harmonic balancer mount, I'm going to be getting one of the ones that's keyed, so I don't ever have to worry about that. And all of these are going to get keyed balancer hubs. I'm just not even going to mess with that. Although it is 5 degrees off, so I mean it's not that hard. But if you have to pull the front cover off for any reason, I just want there to not be any discrepancy if I have to pull the balancer off or the hub in order to get to the timing cover or something. I just don't want to mess with. I want to keep it simple, right? And I don't understand why GM did that. Is what it is. It's way easier to mess with these things when they're out of the car than it is with them in the car. But anyway, that being said, guys, that's all I got for the video. If you guys have any recommendations for mass dampeners, let me know for LT4. Actually, it doesn't matter because at this point, I'm building that as LT based. I mean, the only reason it's going to be still an LT4 is the heads at the end of the day. So, yeah. So, I got a Corvette. You're looking at it. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.